Is that working now? Looks like it's working on my end now. Yeah, hi, Sreza. How have you been out there? Hey, good, good. Uh, yeah, this is the first time I've been streaming on YouTube as opposed to Twitch, and my stuff did not like it. In fact, I need to take 1 second to turn on the lights so that it. There we go. Now the camera can better see my face. All right. Yeah. So again, apologies for the delay. First time streaming on YouTube, things weird. It doesn't like it. So I fixed that, and now it does work. Um, yeah. Other things of note. Oh yes. I wanted to say we have so many people that really enjoyed the random meme shit post I put out. So, that's great. Was not expecting hundreds of people to watch that. So I'll definitely work on making another one. I think I almost have Joel's one done because my voice is a little bit sore, and the only other thing I was gonna do today, other than this, is D&D and record stuff. And if my throat's a little bit on the sore side, I don't want to DM and absolutely wreck my throat and record stuff and even wreck my throat further. So, yeah, and instead I worked on that, so that's fun. But yeah, today we're going to be doing some SCP summary and stuff like that. Just going through the old list of SCPs up to SCP 100. We have gone further in the series, but I want to do these things in like 100 chunks. So, I'm not overusing my voice, though that's less of a worry with this particular one. And B, I don't know if I could take doing 200 SCPs. That would be quite a bit. Um, Hello, Scrambled brother. How are you doing? Um, yeah. So starting off, we have SCP-002, the Living Room. That's the first one we did. I'm going to open it up in a new tab before going to it. I believe this is the SCP that it's made out of like all the bodies of the people who have wandered into it. Which, yes, the body of, yeah, body, yes, words. SCP made up of all the bodies that, well, all the people that have gone into it and subsequently been turned into stuff like couches and whatnot. Um, Honestly, as the first SCP that's read on this, it was quite an enjoyable read. I'm always sad with data expunges and redactions and all that, but yeah, for me just waking up, or no, it was like midnight or something when I first read the SCP stuff. Yeah, for me to just get on and just look it up and go, let's go. This was a fun first one to read. I don't think we had to do many voices for this. Yeah, there was the Mulhanson report, but I don't think I did a voice for that. And also there's this reference to document, Croft reference document 00.023.603. There's no document. I always love reading the extra documents. It's very fun. Yeah, that one. I think back when I was reading this one, this was when I had the absolutely screwed over mic. I think I had that screwed over mic until somewhere around Ferdinand. I forget if it was before or after him. But yeah, thank Scrambled Bro Camo King for that one. And good to know you have a relaxing end to your day. But yeah, very fun one to start off with. Star rating. I tend to be generally. I'd rate this one a good 4 stars. I don't think it has everything I would love in an SCP article, but for what it is very, very good. A lot of people agree with me. I would vote for that, but they declined my application to be part of the SCP Foundation, so that's sad. But yeah, I might try replaying sometime. But yeah, very fun one to start on. I'd say a good 4 stars. A very satisfying read. Next one, Biological Motherboard. I believe this was the 2-part SCP where you had the one part that was, I think it was like growing every time the other one lost power, and you had to use like human heat to get it going. Otherwise, it started consuming everything, and then it tried to make the world a perfect place for one of the things that touched it. Yeah, no, yeah, that's definitely this one. Um, this one is very, very nice read. I enjoy the well, first of all, Dead Expunges, sad, and SCPs we haven't gotten to, even sadder. We'll read those one day. Um, yeah, so this SCP I thought very, very interesting, not necessarily for the SCP itself. The SCP itself is an interesting thing. What I found most interesting about this one was more the, what was it? More the theory that there's so much else in the world to have had these things exist. Because even if you take the theory that the SCP Foundation only has one object and this could be the object, this object would never be the only thing on its own, because yeah, it's it's got so much to it. There's two different groups that are doing different things. Both of them are SCP anomalous stuff. It's a very interesting one. I'd give it a good. I give this one another 4 stars. Let's see what's she saying in chat. Hey, I mean, if you want me to read your fan-made stories, feel free to post them on the Discord. I do not mind doing stuff like that. If you want me to, or if you want to do that, give me a heads up, and I'll make a section specifically for it. But yeah, the living motherboard it's one of those ones that I really want to know the backstory of, because even in the article, it talks about how one seems to be designed for the other one. Let's see. I think. Oh, come on. There we go. Nope. Either I'm misspelling designed or I do not see it here. But yeah, the one seemed to be the second part, which was the one that required the power source to keep the first one under control, seemed like it was designed for the first one and they don't know who made it. And that's just going, yeah, there's more to it. Oh yes, and then there was the MO3 Gloria. Very, very fun part. You know, with this part, yeah, still 4 out of 5 stars. No extraneous articles to go along with it yet. All right, back here. The 12 rusted keys and the door. I believe this was the interdimensional keys. You put them in the locks, turn them, and they opened up a portal to other dimensional planes, but only 1 or 2 of them were. You're welcome to do that now. If you wait until after the stream, I'll throw open an actual chat for it specifically. But yeah, SCP-004. Yeah, and then there's the rusted barn door, which, the barn door. Barn door. It's a barn, right? Was it a barn or a warehouse? Yeah, barn. They believe the barn door itself to be an SCP object. Oh, and then there was the little box. Yeah. There was a little box that was also led to other dimensions, and then if they put the wrong key in, it just rips them apart because some of the dimensions can't hold human life within it. And it's just like, oh, very interesting as a second read. Again, very, very sad adult redactions. I understand area redactions. It's fair enough. But stuff like the site is stocked. The site is just stock, supplies for data redacted person days. It feels bad. You could just say, like, for a certain amount of days or something like that, you don't have to put the redaction in. The redaction makes me say it. And then, oh yeah, this is another one where people's names get redacted. And that's also another sad one, because you can just put in some random guy's name and it's like, yep, definitely that guy. You could put in, like, what is it, Dr. Carl or something like that. I don't think we have a Dr. Carl yet. And all of a sudden, there's a Dr. Carl in the SCP universe, and there you go. But yeah, very nice one. This is another one where there's more backstory to it than is said, but they don't have related articles, so sadly, 4 out of 5 stars. Still good, but not the best. Skeleton key, I believe this was just simple, opens everything, right? Yeah, this cannot be, or Yeah, may not be used for vending machine repairs, opening lockers. Yeah, this was it opens everything. Very basic, based off of the what's it called? It's based off of the literal skeleton key from where is it? It's something in mythology, I believe. I don't quite remember where skeleton key comes from, but yeah, it's one of those things that it brought something where there's a thing about it in the real world. Maybe not a real skeleton key, but just a story about it that existed beforehand. They took it, they turned it into an SCP, and here we go. We now have a skeleton key. Very nice one. A little bit on the short side. I like what it does, but because it's so short, and it's literally just, yep, this is something that exists in real life folktales, so it's something that in the SCP universe, I can only give it like 2 stars. It's well written. It's not. Or sorry, you know what? No, we're reserving 1 and 2 stars for things that are. We're gonna reserve 1 and 2 stars for things that are badly written and also just uninspired. So this would be 3 stars. Yeah, 3 stars. It's well written, but it is literally just something that already exists in common stories. Fountain of Youth, another one like the previous one. It's already something that exists. Now, this has more stories about it and stuff related to the O5 Council and all of that, but in the end, it is still just literally the Fountain of Youth with a little more text around it. So, 3 stars. It's well written, definitely well written, but it saddens me. Um, it's not unique. It's just well written. Next one. Abdominal planet. I believe that was the guy who has the literal planet in his abdomen. I mean, abdominal planet. Let's see. Yeah, located within the cavity of the subject. Yeah. Short side, but well written. This one isn't one of the ones that inspire real thinking into what's behind it. You know what? We're changing the star system. We're going off a 10-star system. 5 stars is if it isn't well written or if it isn't designed well, or uninspired, I should say, which would make, or not 01. We're not going over 01s yet. 002 would be probably 8 or 9. Let's go with 9. 003. You know what? Here we go. I can color them. Or, no. Well, no. Yeah. I'll try something with that later. Yeah. So, living room would probably be about. Let's say an 8. Motherboard, another 8. The keys, 7. The keys would be a 7 because these ones have a lot more thinking behind them about what the lore might be. The rusty keys and door have other stuff that it comes to mind with it, like backstory, but it's not quite as good as the biological motherboard or the living room. You know what? No, living room is a 7 too. Living room's good, but it doesn't inspire the backstory. Skeleton key, I'd give a 6. It's creative. Yeah, Fountain of Youth, another 6. It is creative. Abdominal planet. This one's unique, but it doesn't really inspire the thought of other stuff happening around it because it really is just the guy has a planet in his abdomen. Why is it there? Because. Yeah, literally woke up one day and there it was. Like, I like there being more backstory than this, even if they don't tell me the backstory. Also, this has fairly large amount of redactions, including the name of the person, which, if the person doesn't exist. But yeah, overall, pretty good. Some needless redactions, so I'm put it 6. Yeah, 6 sounds good. Zombie Plague, 008. It's literally a zombie plague. I think this was one of the ones where in one of the more recent stories, which one was it? In the Resurrection series, I believe this was the story that I read beforehand, not realizing it was also part of the thing. It was Camp Granada, I believe. Um, yeah, this one existed in the Camp Granada storyline where they combined it with another SCP to do things. I'm not spoiling that anymore. Yeah, by base, not. I mean, it's literally just zombie virus. Yeah, you make it transmission and other details like this. I enjoyed reading all the different ways where the symptoms of the infection are listed out. It's pretty nice. But in the end, it is literally just it's zombie. This part, though, however, does give it some backstory. Not naturally formed on Earth, so USSR, yada yada. Someone made it. Why did they make it? We don't really know, but someone did. So yeah, good old zombie virus. I'd give it a good. I'd give it a 7 because this backstory is good, but in the end, it is just zombie virus. I can close these. There we go. Next one, Red Ice. Red Ice is the first one that I read, and it may not come through because again, I had a really bad mic back in these times. But this was the first one that I read, and I really, really enjoyed. The initial article itself is interesting. I'm not going to say it's the best article, but what I love about this so much, yeah, literally, red ice turns other water and ice into red ice, and I believe it's got like flipped thermal properties. I think that's what it was. Super cooling, cross testing. This was the one with the exploration log. Yeah, so that's what it is. It had the flip thermal properties. In too cold of a temperature, it turns to liquid, I believe, and in too hot of a temperature, it's ice, I think it was. And then it gets unstable if it's too far from a base temperature. This one was the first one I really enjoyed because of the exploration log. The exploration log, yes, with Hughes, Whitmore, and Cassidy. That was the other one. Absolutely enjoyed reading this one. This was very fun to go through and just go, yeah, we're gonna have fun with these voices. However, every time a female voice comes up, I cry a little bit on the inside. I don't do a good female voice. And I'm not confident to ask any of the girls I know to be able to do it for me either. So, yeah, sadness there. But I might be biased because this was the first one with a true story that I really got into, but yeah, this one, honestly, 10 stars. Full marks. This was very fun to read through, and I just wholeheartedly enjoyed it. Next one, Colors of Control. I think this was literally just mind control colors. Yeah, and then a testing log where they take it apart. I mean, it's interesting. It's something that's been done before in other literature. It is well written, if I remember correctly. I might not want to grade stuff on that unless I notice errors, but this was a very, very enjoyable, quick read. I'm not going to say it was hugely creative necessarily. Definitely not bad or anything. But mind control colors and stuff like that, I believe have existed for quite some time now, so I'd give this one 7 stars. Pretty good, pretty good. Next one, Sentient Civil War Memorial Statue. This was the first one I read, I got to the end of, and I went, well, that was weird. So Civil War statue becomes sentient, literally in the description. Hey, don't worry, you haven't read some of the stuff I've written in the past. I promise you, whatever you've written, I've written worse. Civil War statue. Honestly, it's not badly written, but if I remember correctly, like, he falls in love with the person and just leaves with them or something. Yeah, it reaches human level of self-awareness, transfers away. Yeah, romantically attracted to the guy. I I mean, cool, but why? I yeah, I mean, it's not badly written, but I'm gonna say 5 stars because I don't know why this is in here. I, yeah. Anyway, confusion for that one. But next one, 12, bad composition. I believe this was on Mount Golgia. Let's see. Is this Mount? Yes, Golgotha. Sorry, on Mount Golgotha. This one's, I mean, it's a classic, and I like the theory behind it. And there's a lot more backstory to this if you start going into it was a musical group. I don't remember. It's something symphony, I think. Um, yeah, like it's got a whole backstory to it that's really, really interesting. But none of it's linked on the page, and I'm gonna try and only really rate stuff based off of the page it's on, if I remember to. I'm terrible about these things. But yeah, so very interesting. But as it is, just as the article, it's very simplistic. It's well written and it is creative, so I'm gonna say like 6, 7 stars. We'll go with 7 stars for 012. It is definitely well written, and I like the theory behind it and the backstory behind all the rest of the stuff that one day we'll probably get to. Absolutely enjoyed, but in the end, it's I write this thing and we die. Because I don't want to write anymore and it doesn't work. But yeah. Next one, Blue Lady cigarettes. I believe this one was people smoke the cigarettes, turn into a blue lady found in some guy's apartment or something. I forget if he died or whatever. Yeah, during the investigation, civilian officer became affected. Yeah, it was found in the guy's apartment after suicide by him. Yeah, and people start seeing themselves as the blue lady. Yeah, interesting. I'd give it 7 stars, 7 out of 10. It's satisfying. It's very satisfying. Concrete Man, the guy who thinks he's concrete and thus he is. Yes. By all appearances, normal. Does not appear to age. He's a man who doesn't age because he believes he doesn't age. I am always a fan of the mind over body stories. This is a mind over body story. Give it 7 stars. It's good, well written. I'm not gonna say it's like groundbreaking or anything, but it's good. Next one, we have Pipe Nightmare. This was another one I absolutely enjoyed. Big place, got pipes, the pipes expand, the thing is sentient as far as people can tell. Yes. The actual article itself, not that long, well written, very simplistic. And this is the way that I really, really enjoy articles being done, because in addition to it being simplistic, you have one link, and the link goes on. And it is very, very, very long. This is another one that I really enjoyed reading. I don't know, something about back and forth panic situations. I enjoy stuff like this. And then the one guy thinking he's hot shit, and yeah, he like tinkers with the MRV, and yeah, hot glass, I believe. He killed by hot glass. Yeah, he gets killed by hot glass. Another one trying to escape. Yeah, everyone dies. Everyone dies. Very, very fun read. I wholeheartedly enjoyed it. This one, honestly, getting another 9 stars because I loved it to death, but it doesn't have a whole lot of backstory. That's the only thing I disliked about it. I would love backstory. But yeah, after that, Sentient Microorganism. I don't remember this one. I swear if I've missed reading it. 555. Hold on. Bloodborne pathogen, mine worker, contaminated with coal dust. Oh, I remember this. Yeah, it turns. Yes. Transformation. Yeah, okay, this was the one that keeps turning people into stuff to better survive the environment that they're in. So they did all sorts of experiments on them, and kind of saw how things did, and yeah, different responses. I think there was like 3 where they dropped someone from something and tried to get them to sprout wings, I want to say. But yeah, overall, very satisfying. I'm going to give it 7 stars. Well written, creative, but it doesn't have that backstory factor, and it doesn't have a story with it. Next one, we have Shadow Person, 17. Oh, I think this was the one that... I don't remember. Let's see. This was not the one I was thinking of. The one I was thinking of was from one of the SCP games where it's always in the corner of your vision. Yeah, simple. It is a child that is a shadow. And it disappears things. And then it references document 017, and there is no document 017. Pain. I want document 017. Tell me what is in it. But yeah. Well written. I'm gonna give it 6 stars. If it had document 017, it would be higher, but we don't have that. But yeah, interesting, well written, creative. We need document 017. You make me sad. Super Bowl, it go bouncy, and it go bouncy hard. They turned it into the boot of a like super uniform or whatever. Yeah, the modified SCP A5 armor. Well written. It rather simple in the actual thing, but the biggest creativity in this is actually the armor part, where they're just like, someone decided to use it for armor. And now they have an armor with super boot. And then they snap their legs, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 2 broken legs, several broken ribs. Yeah, very, very, very fun to just read it. This one was one of the ones that I read, and it was like, it's got a little bit of comedy in it. And it's not like out of place comedy. It's good comedy. So, it does give a little more backstory. I believe this was... I think this was from the SCP group that always did toys and stuff. Wondertainment, that's who it was. I believe this was a Wondertainment? No? Whammo Company. Never mind. Yeah. I mean, it's got ideas of backstory, but doesn't have a lot of backstory. Overall, give it a 7. 8. 8 because of the mini story part at the bottom. Monster Pot. Monster Pot, I don't remember. What is Monster Pot? Oh, yes, tons of beasts crawl out of the pot. Yeah, you got these things, which I'm fairly sure is just a chihuahua that they took a picture of while, like, moving the camera, spinning it. It is interesting. I really like these ones that are historical. They do a good job of going, back in ancient times, the SCPs also existed. And I always like it when it's like that, because it's more living, breathing world. Overall, Monster Pot, I'd give I think it's something in fiction, but I don't know for sure, so I'm not going to rate it off of that. Give it 7 stars? 6 stars? 7 stars. We'll give it 7 stars. Pretty good. Pretty good story. Next one, Unseen Mold. This is the mold that, like, takes over people's minds, and it's everywhere, and it's just terrifying. Yep, people don't realize they're infected by it, but they follow its orders, or, like, try to spread it more. Yeah, the civilian woman. It's got mini-story. It makes me sad that this is not in a file of its own, but it's on the shorter side, I can understand. Yeah, very satisfying. I'd give this 8 stars? Yeah, 8 stars out of 10. It's entertaining, it's creative. It's kind of zombies, but not just zombie, because people still live in thinking, all that. And overall, just kind of interesting. Next one, Skin Worm. I believe this was the dragon that lives on or in a tattoo, and it eats other tattoos? Yes. Interesting. I'm not sure if it really begs for backstory, so 7 out of 10. Pretty nice. Not too bad. Black Shuck. No, Morgue. The Morgue. This was the one that made people, or made bodies inside it disappear and reanimated people, I think? Yeah, Cadaver will attempt to animate and leave the morgue. Yeah. interview log. This was, yeah, medium-sized interview log. Honestly, quite enjoyed this one. I'm putting it at a good 7 stars, 8 star. We'll go with 8 stars. It's better than a 7 star. Um, Next we have Black Shuck, which I honestly. Oh, oh, this one was really good. Yeah, this one has like 2 or 3 links if I remember correctly. Does it not? Yes, incident report. And then another incident, and then there was like a poem somewhere, and a link to another SCP that we haven't reached yet. Um, yeah, so there's this incident, which they just took the eyes out of a dog that every time someone looks into its eyes, it kills them. And because they took their eyes out, it was even more deathly. Yeah, here's the poem. Or story, short story. Yeah, this one, it's got so much to it. And then the article itself doesn't beg for backstory, but the second you read Mother's Love, it's like, oh, there's a lot more going on here. What on earth is going on here? Yeah, I'm gonna give this one another 9 stars. We'll go with 9. Yeah, we'll go with 9. Game show of death. Everyone enters the game show. They die. One person lives. Then they leave. Yeah. Yeah, and then someone, and one of the, where is it? Is it not here? I believe somewhere around here it says that one of the scientists entered it and basically went, so, I'm going to ask you questions, and then asked him a bunch of questions, and then he got angry and said, if you're not doing this, then go. And yeah, so, pretty good. It could exist on its own, doesn't really beg a whole lot for backstory, but a little bit. I'll give it a 7 star. Well-worn wardrobe. I don't remember this. My brain is going to Narnia, and I know that's not right. Oh, yes, this is the one where every time someone wears it, they die from something that goes with it. Yeah, so white tuxedo, torn seam on left shoulder, loses an arm. Yeah. Or no, not loses an arm. I get stabbed. Yeah, this one was pretty nice. Give it 7 stars. Pretty good. Doesn't beg for backstory. After school retention. Was this a school building that was weird? Yeah, this was the one that has like undead, I think? Exploration logs? Or was this the one that people kept sleeping in? Yeah, this is the one where the building was weird. There were spatial anomalies for people living inside of it, and they keep finding people sleeping inside of it who wake up and die or something like that. Overall, pretty well. I'm not sure if this has extra backstory to it, but I really love the exploration logs, so I'll bump it up to an 8. Vermin God. This was the guy who keeps having rats and flies and all of that stuff appear around him. Yeah. Absolutely terrifying the thought of. Overall, though, I can imagine a backstory for this, but I'm not sure how much the actual thing begs for backstory. Yeah, I can very easily imagine a backstory for this, but it isn't connected in any way to anything said in this, and that makes me sad. As such, 7 out of 10, still pretty good, but I like backstory. Knowledge, the space on the ground where people walk in to gain knowledge, right? Yeah, someone gained a bunch of SCP knowledge. Overall, pretty good. Creative, not really begging a backstory. Though I think there was some backstory where it was something from a universe that came from before us or something like that. Overall, though, pretty nice. I'd rate it 6, 7. We'll give it a 7. It's well written. Daughter of Shadows. I think this was the girl with the skin that kept getting darker and darker as more people believed in her or as time went on or something, and they killed off the cult. Yeah, anomalous growth, black pigmentation. Yep. Definitely begs for more backstory, which I always love, but it doesn't have backstory, so it's only getting an 8. Because the only thing connected to it that I see here is another SCP, which might have more backstory, but I don't click on the SCP stuff. I get to it when I get to it. After that, Homunculus. I believe this was a little guy who had knowledge of arcane arts, modified human containing yada yada. Genderless, human, solid black eyes, Spanish, Portuguese, English, Italian, ancient Greek, Latin. Um, yeah, alchemists and Allegata. I think this was one of the ones. Yeah, I read through one of these, and it was just very. It's meant to be part of another story, and it pained me because I thought it would be entertaining on its own, and it is entertaining, but it needs other stuff around it to really be entertaining. So, pretty good. Give it a good. I don't know all the backstory about it, but it exists. I'll give it an 8, possibly a 9. I haven't read the whole backstory yet. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Oh, yeah, People's Republic of North Korea, whatever it is. This is one of the ones that's fun, but fun because there's a weird part to it where there are two different SCP objects that both exist in this tower, and there's a whole backstory behind the two of them. I'm not sure if it has it. Yeah, no, it has it here. Clarification between the two. Yeah. Yeah, there's whole backstory behind this, and it is wonderful to read. I'd give it a good 9 out of 10. There's more stuff going on. We don't know what the more stuff is. Let's wait and find out. Brother's Bride. Nope, cannot remember. Yeah, simulacrum. Oh, yes, this is the thing that's made of, like, yeah, plastic polymers, and then it really hates anything that's, or no, not hates. It was trying to find someone. Right, it was trying to find someone and torture them or kill them or something. Or, yeah, remind him of his precious memories and how they mock him. Yep, honestly, love the backstory behind that one. Give it a 9 out of 10. Missing number, there's a number. It doesn't exist, but it also exists. Pretty simple, pretty basic. They have all this little notes and stuff about it. I think this one's really, really well written. There's no backstory about it, and that makes me sad. Or, like, what backstory there is basically some guy found it, if I remember correctly. And that makes me sad, but on the flip side, it's also really, really well written. Like, all this stuff is good. Is good. I give it a good. Give it an 8 out of 10. Next one. Missing number. Ritual obsidian knife. You use it, you take the skin of someone else, and you disguise yourselves as them. Right? Yes. And they have to be living. I believe this was an ancient Mayan ritual thing that it happens. So, couple of points off for creativity. I mean, I always like seeing this type of thing here, but it is just taking some stuff from myths, so I don't rate it very highly, but it is very well written. I'm gonna give it a good. This begs for backstory only that I know the myths, or some of the myths behind it, and so I'm going to rate it a 7 because it is really well written as well. Possessive Mask. This is the one that has the black stuff everywhere. You put it on, you become the guy, and then you die. Yes. Very good. Tons of stories around it. I think this was one of the few things that I watched from. Who was it? I think it was the Volgan. This was one of the ones that I watched from the Volgan and really early on and thoroughly enjoyed and actually got me into watching the rest of his stuff. I enjoy this one. There's tons of backstory. He has connections with like tons of other SCPs. And I think it notes some of it here, but yeah. Yeah. Connections with other SCPs. He knows some SCPs, yeah, expressed interest. And then he has the SCPs down here, which are used to contain him. Very interesting. Give it a good. I might be judging it higher, but I think it is really well written. I'll give it a 7, 8 out of 10. It's got more stories behind it. After that one, Reincarnation. pilgrimage of the Yazidi. Almost certainly saying that wrong. There's an airplane, it picks up the dead, it drops the dead off elsewhere, and they're not allowed to say anything about it. Yep. Uh, Interesting. I'm going to assume this connects to a mythology, but it does it in a way where the mythology is specifically changed for the purposes of the story, where it's bringing it into more modern day, so I'll give it a couple extra points for that. Let's give it an 8. I would give it a 9 if it had more story to it. Sadly, it has no linked story, and that makes me say it. Dwarf Star, Mini Star, it exists. I think that's pretty much about it. Yeah, and it was in like a tunnel or something. Yeah, very interesting. Gives me flashbacks to a Eureka episode. I'm gonna give it good 6 stars. Um, the everything tree that grows whatever touches it. Water twice a day, yada yada. Yeah, you touch it with things and it grows more. Pretty simple, interesting. I think this is Sarkic in origin, I want to say, but I don't quite remember. I'm gonna give it. There's 6 stars, 7. 7. It's well written. Monkey Brain. Oh, this was one of the fucking great ones. This was the one where you take the like bunch of systems out of the bodies. Yeah, you take the eyes, you take the mouth, you take all the stuff like that. They left the noses on one. The gorillas left who knows where. And then there's one human who used to be a drug-addicted homeless person that they now keep in the Foundation, who does not have eyes or stuff like that. Honestly, really loved this. The thought that there are just gorillas out there and we still have not found them, and the SCP Foundation is searching for them. It's absolutely wonderful. Level 2 restrict, yeah, and it's got all this different style stuff up here. I'm not sure if the more recent stuff use this style or why exactly they're using this one, but it is definitely cool. I have no idea what Vlam Disruption class is, but it is a thing. Yeah. Interesting. Give it a good 9? Yeah, I'd give it a 9. Evolution's Child. I don't remember this. Mental well-being. At will. Oh yeah, he can change stuff, and then he's got like 2 pets or something. Three pets. There we go. Interesting. Doesn't really beg for more backstory, so I'm gonna give it a good 7 out of 10. Definitely a good read if you get around to it. Thought broadcasting patient. Anytime you're near him, people can hear each other's thoughts, and I believe there was like a creepy girl singing at one point, and no one could tell what it is. Yeah, no, it was like, yeah, Tune 39 was placed into a coma, and they heard singing from it, and everyone's like, oh, oh no. This part alone really does it well for me. But the article itself, well written, but doesn't really beg for a lot of backstory, if I remember correctly. Give it a good. Because of this, it's going up to an 8. Just because of that one part. Next. Formerly Winged Horse. Oh, this one was the depressing one. Yeah, there's this horse that used to have wings and it doesn't anymore, and it just wants to die. Yeah. This was a depressing read. Like, one thing that I don't like about this is that it talks about all this stuff like it sucks up the water around it or something like that, except it talks it as a side thing, and the rest of it is just going, yeah, it really wants to die, and it tries to get everything that comes close to kill it. And it's like, why? Why is that the focus of the article? You could have had that be a separate story and just been like, yeah, so this SCP sucks in the nearby moisture, killing off the plants around it. And then, like, make a note somewhere where it's like, and it's in a depressive state. And then you have a story about, like, this addendum or whatever else. As such, because half of it is just talking about how the horse is, yeah, basically sentient and just wants to die, instead of talking about its actually anomalous properties, like the fact that it sucks up the water in the nearby area or something like that. this is one of the only ones that I it makes me sad to read it. This is getting like a 4. And it's not like a good sad, like a story sad. This is just, oh, you decided to make it depressing. Um, but yeah, four stars. It's not terribly written, but just half of it's just talking about how it's depressed, which doesn't need to be in the article that much. I Oh yes, turntable. This is the guy that speaks about any music, yeah, musical theory, anything like that. Does not answer personal details or stuff about the Beatle. I mean, it's interesting. I'd give it a 5 stars. It's not bad. 6 stars. It's not badly written. It's just short, to the point. He talks about stuff. Yeah, he talks about musical. No, this one was an SCP. Was this one also an SCP? Yeah, this one was an actual story. I don't remember if I read this one. But yeah, yeah. I mean, it's interesting. It's got backstory to it, but yeah, it specifically goes. We don't want a backstory from the way that he says stuff. Uh, Molecular fission cannon. You've put things in the cannon. It fires. It nukes an area. Interesting, simple, to the point. Begs a little bit of backstory, but not a whole too much. I'd put it 8 stars. Um, Atmosphere converter. I don't remember this one. Platform, gaseous. Oh yeah, this was another one of the converts all water it touches. This one was under the ocean. It did weird things, earthquakes, and they think it's coming from another dimension, I believe. Uh, Begs more backstory. Give it an 8 star. What's next? Predatory Hollybush. I don't remember this at all. Southwest Kentucky, vegetated layer. Oh, this was the one where, yeah, it's supposed to just, like, let people go over to it and die peacefully because it wants to help them if they're, like, in a terminal state. And then the SCP Foundation goes, no. No, we're not going to have that. Honestly, really well written. It doesn't have additional stories, but it has that extra part, which is basically a story in and of itself. I'm going to give it 9 stars. It's very nice. Microbial mutagen. If things get close to it or something like that, it changes, and there's like 4 different kinds of viruses that they have logged. Three kinds of viruses. Yeah, interesting. I love the additional detail and the fact that it's like, yeah, we don't know where all of it is. It keeps popping up. Give it a good 8 stars. Next one, cursed SCP number. Yeah, they don't put an SCP here because it keeps being cursed. Yeah, they just keep removing it. Interesting. I mean, it doesn't really beg more backstory, but I do enjoy the fact that it isn't just, like, 13, because that would have made me sad. So, yeah, give this a good... Give it 6 stars. Plague Doctor, so much backstory. If anyone doesn't know the Plague Doctor, look it up. It is so good. We even got the little story stuff here where people actually recorded voice stuff. Very, very nice. I'm gonna give it a good... I gotta give it a 10 star. Plague Doctor's too good. And then he's got like 4 more stories or something. Yeah, even connected to his thing. It's so good. It's so good. One of the few I'm giving 10 stars to. To the cleverest, it's a little trophy, goes to people who prank other people or just prove they're smarter. Yep, whole backstory thing. If it's here. Yes, document 050. And then you got all of this, and it's so good, because it's just a bunch of people in the Foundation having fun pranking each other and going, hey, I got you, and then some guy steals it, and then it goes, no. Very interesting. Give it a good 8 stars. It doesn't beg for more backstory, but what's there is 9 stars. It doesn't beg for more backstory past what it says, but it's good all the same. Japanese obstetrical model. Pregnancy thing, keeps the demons inside of it, people touch it, lose pregnancies. Yes, and then there's the interview, which demon child comes out from someone who touched the statue. Honestly, love it. Doesn't beg for too much more backstory, but it allows you to imagine a world where this type of stuff happens and old people were doing stuff. So I'm gonna give it a 9 star. Um, do do do. Time traveling train. You get on the train, you end up at a different time. SCP Foundation gets kicked off of it because they don't want the SCP Foundation coming through. Very good, interesting. Begs a little bit of backstory, not too much. Put it at a 9 star. It begs and gives a little bit of backstory from the recovered logs. Next one. Young girl. Was this the one where everyone tries to kill her or something? Let's see. Get paranoid, attempt to kill it, and then they get killed. Yep. Heart attack, seizures, die. Interesting. Not much backstory. Give it 6 stars. It's well written, but it isn't great. I don't know why that is. What was this one? Water nymph. Water, they keep desiccating her, and it's really fucking annoying to her, and she hates everyone. Yeah. I love this only because it shows the Foundation being an absolute piece of trash, and then later on suffering for it, and someone else comes in and they're like, all right, we're going to be good to this person now, okay? Give it a good 9 stars just for that. Unknown. This was the one that no one could remember. It's an anti-meme, right? Physical appearance, yeah, it's not a sphere. I believe that was the quote that everyone talks about it. And then they've got this whole loop going on where people keep remembering and unremembering. This one's great. This one's very fun. I'm gonna give it just because of the way that it's written, and I believe this was the first anti-meme that was done this way, if I remember correctly. I'm gonna give it a good 9 stars because it also shows up in other stories, but even without that, you can imagine the Foundation just constantly realizing that it exists, worrying about it, doing stuff, and then not knowing. And then it's just good. Beautiful person. I believe this was the one that keeps transforming into people. Various size changes response. Yeah, keeps transforming into things. Yes, and then there's this part where it's just like, it transforms into a golden retriever when exposed to this doctor's dog. All right. It doesn't even just care about people. It cares about everything. Yeah. Overall, pretty good. To me, it begs for more backstory just because of the fact that where did it come from? But I've said that doesn't beg for backstory with other people. And that missing things. Addendum 2B, are you down? Okay, yeah. Make a link to just send us down here. Sadness. Yeah, overall, pretty good. Put it 7 stars. Daily grind. There's boulders, they put people inside, they run forever until they die. Basically that. There could be more backstory to this. It makes me sad that there isn't. I'm gonna give it 8 because there's a reason why this is underground, but it doesn't give any reason. Heart of Darkness. Was this the cow heart? Yeah, bovine heart. It keeps killing things and it whispers random shit. I had fun reading this. Overall, I mean, it doesn't really beg for a whole lot more. But what was these two? Yeah, these were both SCPs, right? Yeah, I believe these were both SCPs. Yeah, not too bad. Doesn't beg for too much more. 7 stars. The darkness, radioactive mineral. This keeps converting everything around it into the radioactive mineral, and it comes from another dimension, which I really enjoy, and I'm going to put it at a good 8 stars because of it. Because it's interesting, but it needs more. More! Yeah, overall, pretty good. Infernal Occult Skeleton. I think this was the one that exists in a grove of trees, and it keeps coming back to life or something. Let's see. Yeah, the white oak trees, whenever they burn, I believe it comes to life or something like that. Pretty good. Gives a little backstory, but not too much. The backstory exists. It's pretty good. I'm gonna give it 9 stars. Yeah, and then there's second article. No, this is another SCP. I'm not remembering right. It is just at the bottom of that page. Yeah, pretty good. Auditory mind control. SCP Foundation creates mind control. There we go. We have SCP mind control. Further research ongoing. Not that one. Further? No. Never mind. Yeah. It's interesting. I'm gonna give it a good... 6 star. 5 stars. It's just another mind control story. Well written, though. Definitely well written. Quantum computer. Computer keeps turning into other computers, right? Yes. It starts off as a blank computer with nothing in it. You open it up, and all of a sudden it's another computer from, we assume, another dimension, I think was the way that it was. But it just keeps changing, and it technically doesn't exist. I think there was... Was Faith OX part of this? No, Faith OX doesn't exist. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Simple. Give it a good 6 stars. World's best toothbrush. It's a toothbrush. It deletes everything that isn't biological. Yep. It cleans teeth real well. You take toothbrush, you make a good toothbrush. You get in 6 stars. You good article. You're not that creative. Flawed von Neumann structure. Was this AI? Geometric pattern. Earth brick. Oh yeah, you put the brick down and it builds a thing out of all of the like sand and soft stuff in the area. This is good. It begs for more. It doesn't give you more, and it makes me sad. 8 stars. The destroyed organic catalyst. What? Spherical region of space. Oh yes, they were using it for food. This reminds me of, what was it? Happy Animal Farms? Something like that. It reminds me of that, and so I'm probably a little biased, but I'm gonna say 7 stars. No, that was backstory. Yeah, 8 stars. Begs for more. Yeah. 9 stars. 9 stars. It's getting 9 stars. It's very good. It begs for more backstory. I'm biased. I like the Happy Farms, whatever it was called. Eric's Toy. Eric's Toy? Oh, yes, the string bowl, and then they undo the string, someone tries cutting it, and then it goes hostile, and it hates everything. Honestly, very nice. It is good. It begs for more backstory, and it gives you a little bit. 9 stars? Yeah, we'll go with 9 stars. Artist's pen, you hold it, you can draw something from your memory, it decides what it's drawing, you don't get to decide to stop. Very simple. To the point. Doesn't need too much backstory. I'd say 7 stars. Wire figure. It takes other figures made of wire, or makes other figures made of wire. Makes a big figure made of wire. There you go. Wire figures. And then someone suggested using something invisible or invincible metal-wise, and someone said no, that's a stupid idea. And I agree. It's a stupid idea. 7 stars. You did a good job. Second chance. Oh, yes. Takes over your body after you die and wraps up all the stuff in your life for you so that when it takes over the next body, there you go. Simple, to the point. There we go. Give it a good 7 stars. Iron Wings. What is this? I'm getting a message because I am late to my D&D session, so I am going to... respond to this. Alright, solar cannibalism. Oh, yes, the wings have the mind of their own, and they just want him to eat, because it wants to survive. Something along those lines. I know, D&D in life. I'm still gonna get to the end of this. I will make it. Yeah, interesting. It has a bit of a story with it. Pretty good. It doesn't beg for too much more, but it begs for a little bit. I'll give it an 8. Degenerative metamorphic entity. What on earth were you? Ability assume form consist. Oh yes, that's why it's degenerate. And yeah, this was the part with this, which I'm not going to read aloud again, and makes me sad. And also, where is it? Yes, also this one. You didn't have to write that. You really didn't. Because of that, you're getting. You know what? It's literally just a succubus. And this whole thing makes me sad. You're getting like 2 stars. There was no reason to write that part. Um, what else? Foot of the bed. It takes your feet, and yeah, it is a thing. It takes your beat. It takes your feet, and it's infectious. Simple, to the point. Give it a good 6. Yeah, give it a good 6 stars. It's not wholly creative. The idea of things taking your bit or taking your feet while your feet are poking out. It's in the subconscious. You targeted that. You did well. It's reasonably. You know what? 7. 7. Yeah, there's backstory and stuff to it. You get a 7. Kane, I'm going to review at the same time as Abel. Kane himself, fairly simple, fairly interesting. I enjoy it, but it also has that little bit of there's so much more here. And as we are learning through the Resurrection canon, there is so much more here. And then Abel, the other half, I, yes, he has Task Force Omega 7. So much. There is so much here. And it's so good. And then it dies. And then Resurrection comes and it's like, yes! Together, 10 stars. There's so much that goes along around them and with them. It's very nice. Quantum Woodlouse, it buries into people's skin, and yeah, and they use a skin box to contain it, I believe. Reinforced glass chamber, filtered light, scaffolds. Yes. Live cultured human skin. I hate this idea so much. It's good. I give it a good. You get 8 stars. I'm begrudgingly giving you 8 stars because there is backstory that I want to fucking know more because it's utterly terrifying. But yes, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Corrosive snail. Oh yes, they don't want it coming back into existence because it corrodes absolutely everything around it, and it's just terrible whenever water touches it or even its own fluid. I believe it just starts making more corrosive, and it. Ugh. Shorter. I want to know more about the creature, not necessarily about the backstory. What is this? Oh, okay. Um. mm, 7 stars. It's good, but I don't think it has too much of backstory in and of itself. April rot skull. As a skull, it rots potatoes. Yes, and then it gets horrible and does horrible things when people read it, but they need people to read it, otherwise it rots everything in the area, and it's just terrifying. Interesting. I think yeah, this story over. No, no, this is another SCP. Oh, it's the bag of potatoes. Okay, we'll talk about that one later. Yeah, very interesting, and 7 out of 10. No, no, 8 out of 10. It begs for more, but it doesn't give us anything. Um, Old AI. This is the AI that kept it ran into its limit, right? Double locked room, possible threat. Further. Did this change? Is this new? No, this isn't new. I don't remember this particular link. I don't remember that being there. Um, yeah, overall, very nice, simple, gives a little backstory, doesn't beg for too much more. You get 9 stars. Very good. Dark form. What are you? It is unknown if it has physical mass. Oh, was this the one that plays with the ball? Hold on. No. Dream journals, experiment log, various shadows and human effigies. What? Is it just nightmare fuel? What are you? Why don't I remember you? Stressful dreams. Oh, anything that's near. Oh, that's right. Anything that's nearby it has nightmares. And what was it? Does it consume them in some way? Yes, fed D-class personnel once per month in order to neutralize it. Yeah, gives you backstory. People think about it. You get 9 stars. You do good. Spontaneous combustion virus takes things that have existed in folklore, makes it into an SCP. Very simple. I don't think there's a whole lot too much here. Yep. Basic, to the point, takes stuff from IRL lore. You get... You get a 6. You get a 6. Is good. Ferdinand the Cannibal. Absolutely love everything about Ferdinand. He's a big boy, he hungry, and yeah, he's a good guy. Except when he's eating people, then he's not so much a good guy. Also, he lies between his teeth, right? Yes, only lies when it's through my teeth, except he always speaks with his jaw clenched unless he is eating, and in which case he doesn't speak because he's eating. He's a good boy. He big. Begs for more. You get an 8. An abandoned row home. Is this the one with a bunch of different dimensions and they lost the camera in it? Yeah, they lost the camera in it. Very good. Begs for more because there's someone here and they don't know who the someone is. And there we go. That gets you an 8. 9. It gets you a 9. It's good enough for a 9. Static tower. This was the interdimensional one that like stretched. Yeah, open field. Except when you try to get close to it, yeah. The space around it is fucky wucky. And no one can get close to it. They tried firing RPGs at it and it didn't get close. And then there's a whole town trapped in there. So you know what? You beg for more, you're an 8. Hand-drawn Cassie. Connects with another SCP, something that they actually made. Cassie is sad and alone, and she just wants people to be with, except the Foundation won't give her someone to be with because they don't want to use the machine again. Yeah, pretty good. Enjoy it. Doesn't beg for more in the sense of past, it begs for more in the sense of future, because I want Cassie to get friend. Cassie need friend. And as such... Yeah, as such, you get a 9. You good girl, Cassie. You good girl. The office of Dr. Redacted. Someone got transformed into an SCP after death, and he reported himself, and people are happy about that. Yeah. Feed him staples and stuff, and yeah, pretty good. Simple, to the point. Give you an 8 because I want to know why. I want to know why. And then the stairwell, simple to the point, old thing, big stairwell, a bunch of documents. People go down as the stairwell. There's a baby crying. Someone got closer to the baby crying. I think it was this one. Interesting, to the point. I don't think people have done it before, but it also draws upon the fear of people going downstairs. I'll give you... I want to say 9, but my brain is telling me 10, and as such it is a 10. Next one, Lizard King. Turns people into lizards. Let's go. Yes, turns people into lizards. There's backstory here. I don't know what the backstory is. Well written, you get an 8. Next is... Tophet? Oh, yes, feeds on the... child sacrifice from the mother, and it stops big thing from happening elsewhere in the world. Interesting. Begs for more. Gives you a little bit, and you still want more. You get an 8. 9. You get a 9. Apoca Rubik's Cube. There we go. Is a cube when the sides line up because they just turn around on their own. It means something's happening. One side is local, one side is elsewhere, yada yada yada. Interesting, simple, to the point. You can use it to prevent things from happening. Makes you think about why on earth this thing exists. We're gonna give it a good. Gonna give you an 8. I want to know why on earth you exist. Nostalgia. It's box of tissues, right? Box of tissues. Yes. People remember it everywhere they go, and then it appears in wedding photos and stuff like that. Pretty good. Nice, simple. You get a 7. I want to know more about you, but it's not in the way that I'm desperate for it. The absolute best of the 5th dimension. I think this is the first time our Rikuya gets brought up. Overall, well written, interesting. You get a little bit of background here. You get a little bit of background here. God, I remember reading all these. Oh God, yeah, put that away. Yeah, simple, to the point. Gives you a list of stuff it does. It's very long. And they said this one doesn't need to be read, so it is a link you can close and open, and that is right. I partially regret the time lost reading that, but also at the same time I don't. It was fun. You get a 7. Yep. You get an 8. You get an 8 only because Are We Cool Yet is cool. And this brings it up as one of the first ones on the list. Next. Red Sea Object. Oh my god, this is a 10 out of 10. You have the object, it makes portals, you got the blue test, yellow test, all these tests, and it's fucking amazing. This is one of the ones that I read, and first of all, I regretted reading because I had just read like 3 before this or something, and then I got to this one, and then I turned this one into a separate video, even though the stream was one stream, which I normally didn't do, but there we go. Absolutely love this one. Amazing. 10 out of 10. Read it. Find ways to let's do it. It's so good. Miniature Event Horizon. It's going to consume the world very slowly. I believe something that we just read from the Wanderer's Library has a reference to it, where it swallowed part of America because it's 500 years in the future, and this is slowly growing. Is very, very good. The Atomic Adventures of Ronnie Reagan. I want to know more. Well written, simple. I enjoy doing the voices for Space Major Herbert assumes command and stuff like that. It is very, very fun. We're gonna give you an 8 out of 10 because I want to know more. Why on earth were these books printed? Let's see, what else? Shy Guy. Shy Guy, simple, to the point. We got lots of stuff here. There is a canon where he goes around and kills everything, but he's too slow, so they use other people to kill stuff, and it's interesting. Yeah, it's very good. I love the fact that there is this. No, wait. Not this one. Shoot. Where? Is this one? Tell me it's this one. Yes, there's this one. This one's so good. 10 out of 10. You get full marks. It's so good. So good. Old Fairgrounds. I believe this was the one where there is... It's the pumpkins that keep consuming children around Halloween. Yes. And there's like other pumpkins and other flora and stuff that's all around it. Interesting. Good, to the point. Halloween horror. Very nice. You're gonna get 7 out of 10. I don't need to know more about you, but you are interesting. And well written. Surgeon Crabs, they have knife hands. They stab things with knife hands. They're fairly intelligent, and they scream at you while you scream at them. Is good. Just because of scream at you, scream at them mean you're getting a 7 out of 10. You would have gotten it anyway, but, I mean, we just keep screaming at each other. What's not to like about that? And then you die and they stop eating you. It's horrifying. 99, hold on. Portrait. Oh, yes, makes you paranoid. All the paranoia. Interesting. Makes me think that there's more, but the guy didn't do it on purpose, so, there we go. It's the end of the article. There we go, 7 out of 10. 8 out of 10. You know what? 8 out of 10 because there is the woman who knows it is weird, and she's aware of the properties and is either immune or careful not to look too closely. Why does she have it? Why is it there? Who knows? And then lastly, SCP-100, before I rush off to D&D, Jamaican Joe's Junkyard Jubilee. Very fun. It gives you lots of story. You're getting a 9 style to 10 just because there's so much to this. They just took the real, or sorry, the fake JJ, and where did he go? What were they saying? Yeah, that's gonna be it. I'm wrapping up. I'm 20 minutes late for T&D, and it's a 10-minute bike ride over there. So thank you all for coming. It has been an absolute joy having you here. I hope you all enjoyed. Sadly, I had to rush. We just got the D&D session together after canceling multiple times, so I have to go for this. Thank you very much for coming.